And what's good, YouTube? Holla at your boy. Lots to cover as the crypto bloodbath continues. In today's show, I'll be breaking down the latest technical analysis as literally there was $1 billion worth of liquidations. We'll also be discussing SpaceX Bitcoin write-down sparks a massive confusion. The question is, did Elon and SpaceX really dump 373 million worth of Bitcoin, or is it nothing more than FUD? We'll also be discussing U.S. Congressman issues a warning on CBDCs, says they pose an existential threat to Western civilization. We'll also be discussing Tornado Cash loses its lawsuit against the U.S. government. I'll be breaking down this report, as well as breaking news. The judge grants the SEC request to file a motion for the appeal with the Ripple XRP case. And Max Keiser, our fearless leader, is predicting a $3 million Bitcoin price, quoting him here. Bitcoin has already and will continue to outperform everything else so spectacularly by 100x or more that anyone holding fiat, stocks, bonds, gold, and all the coins, property, etc. will literally be impoverished. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market, all this, plus so much more in today's show. And welcome y'all just joining us. Let me know if I am loud and clear as I am streaming simultaneous right now on YouTube as well as on Rumble. Now, I also want to announce that yesterday we launched the Crypto News Alerts Patreon, which is going quite well. And I want to touch upon it right now before we kick off the show here. And as you can see here on your screen, there's different memberships. And why I launched this is a way for you to help support the Crypto News Alerts community. There's membership levels starting from $5 going all the way up to $97 and everything in between. And it's going to give you exclusive access to our brand new Discord server. There's many channels already launched. It's already popping. And I do have a promo I want to touch upon really quick as outlined right here, because this is probably going to end within the next couple of days. So as I put, in honor of Satoshi creating 21 million Bitcoin and the launch of the Crypto News Alerts on Patreon, I have decided to offer the first 21 paid Patreons to be comped the level up at which you pay for. For example, if you purchase the $5 a month Bitcoin pleb level, you'll be comped the $11 a month HODL Gang level. Another example, if you purchase the $47 a month Grayscale level, you'll be comped the $97 a month Satoshi level. And I greatly appreciate everyone's continued support. It means the world. And if you're unable to, contribute to the Patreon, it's all good. Just by watching the show on a regular basis, you're doing so much. I can't thank you enough. So with that being shared, now let's dive into our market watch and check out this insanity of this bloodbath currently going on in the Bitcoin market. You should be able to see on your screen. Let me know in the chat. Bitcoin's currently just holding on to 26,100. By a thread. We've already touched in the 25,000 range. We're still down 6% for the day. Ether down 4%, trading at $1,600. And some of the biggest losers, naturally, are some of these alts. XRP down 13%, barely holding on to 50 cents. We have Solana down 7%, trading at 21 bucks. And also XLM and Litecoin are in the blood red. And checking out coinmarketcap.com, the current crypto market cap sits at $1.05 trillion with about 70 billion in volume in the past 24 hours. So the volume is up roughly 58%. We got the Bitcoin dominance at 48.3% with the Ether dominance at 19% even. And checking out the SOT 100 crypto gainers in the past 24 hours, probably not much, just what you see here. We have AKT, which I have never heard of, up 33%, trading at $1.39, followed by Injective, up 7%, trading at $7.78, followed by Tether Gold, which I have never heard of, barely in the green, trading just under $1,900, and virtually the entire crypto market is bleeding in the red, with the biggest losers including Conflux, Litecoin, and XRP for the past 24 hours. And if you check out the top losers for the past week, yikes. I mean, we're talking about anywhere from 10 to 20, even as high as 30% losses. Not looking good right now for the alts. And checking out the Crypto Greed and Fear Index, we're currently rated at 37, finally back in fear. We have been stuck in neutral and greed for the bulk of the year. We're finally back in fear. Yesterday was a 50 neutral, last week a 51, and last month also a 50 in neutral. Now, welcome to everyone just joining us. Someone earlier asked in the chat, and they're like, yo, smash that down arrow button, dislike this video, because he's, sharing predictions of millions of dollars. Meanwhile, there's a bloodbath in the market. And I responded, I'm not losing any sleep over this dump. All I do is continue to stack sats, and I sleep like a baby. Why Why is that? Because I'm not a niche coiner. I have the most pristine cryptocurrency, decentralized, incorruptible, unconfiscatable crypto, and the only one that there is, and that is Bitcoin. So while everyone else is crying and panicking, I'm stacking sats. I just spent an entire day at the pool with my daughter, having a grand old time. I'm not sweating it whatsoever. And I think if you're a Bitcoiner, you feel the same way, because one Bitcoin is still equivalent to what? One Bitcoin. Who cares the fiat crap, value equivalent? It's irrelevant. One Bitcoin will always be equivalent to one Bitcoin. And with that being shared, let's dive into today's Bitcoin technical analysis and check out some of these blood charts we're witnessing right now. Bitcoin stayed near 2-month lows at the August 18th Wall Street Open as the markets came to terms with extreme liquidations, which we can see here, not looking so great. And data from Cointelegraph and TradingView showed Bitcoin price action tracking sideways after a single day candle spawned an 8% loss. Bitcoin saw a cascade of liquidations across the derivative markets, which is used as a financial weapon of mass destruction, with these accounting for an outsized majority amid the relatively lax spot selling. Quoting QCP Capital, in derivative, it is likely that a large account got wiped considering the immense short liquidation that occurred together. And as you can see here, shorts are getting wrecked. I mean, so many positions are getting wrecked, obviously. Now, QCP, like others, noted that the market reaction to the alleged trigger, a write-down of SpaceX's $373 million on their Bitcoin holdings, which appeared to be exaggerated. And in our next story, we're going to be diving deeper into this. And is it just all FUD, or is there any, truth to this story? Now, the total liquidations challenged those seen in the immediate aftermath of the FTX exchange meltdown, the event which resulted in Bitcoin dip into 2-year lows and the current low of the cycle, which is 15,600 back in November of 2022. Quoting the Kubisi letter, this feels like yet another sign of drying liquidity markets have seen over the last few weeks. And for popular trader Rec Capital, here's what he had to share. Bitcoin formed its higher high at 31,000 on inclining volume, but the price formed the second half of its double top on the declining volume. And an accompanying chart showed trading volume on the daily timeframes as Rec Capital warned that capitulation had likely not yet matched the previous sell-offs. Quoting him again, though there was a small breakout in the seller volume on this crash, it is still nowhere near the seller exhaustion volume levels of the previous Bitcoin reversals, in which he explained. In fact, current seller volume would need to probably double to reach those seller exhaustion volume levels that prompted the price reversals in early and late March, as well as mid-June. Meanwhile, others were more optimistic, as pointing out to the RSI, every cycle, including the weekly Bitcoin RSI, experiences a fake out of the bull market start line comes lasting longer than others, and every one of them makes a revisit to the 0.382 Fibonacci retrace of the move. And with the latest drop, both of those things are now complete. And also QCP points out, we believe that a low now rests on Powell's speech at Jackson Hole next week. And so there you have it. How low do you think the Bitcoin price action is likely to go during this dump? Let me know your honest thoughts in the comments right down below, which leads us to our next story of the day. Let's discuss everything SpaceX and the FUD circulating in the markets right now, and what exactly is causing this mass liquidation of over $1 billion of positions to be liquidated just like that. Let's break it down. And let me know your thoughts also in the comments. SpaceX's Bitcoin write-down report on August 18th sparked mass confusion within the crypto community. The report published in the Wall Street Journal puzzled many. Keep in mind, that's the mainstream, who questioned whether SpaceX held $373 million worth of Bitcoin and sold it in 2021 and 2022, or whether they only reduced their Bitcoin exposure by the same amount. Several social media outlets reported that SpaceX had sold its entire Bitcoin holdings. Maybe that's what crashed the market, while others expressed uncertainty, claiming they were unable to confirm the amount based on the wording of the report. As pointed out here, I actually read the Wall Street Journal report, and I think Bitcoin Magazine is wrong. Yes, the report claims that SpaceX marked down the value of the Bitcoin by $373 million, but that doesn't mean they sold $373 million. And sold some, but selling some doesn't necessarily mean they have no Bitcoin left. And I think they make a great point. And then Elon Musk, he revealed this in 2021 that SpaceX SpaceX was holding Bitcoin, as does Tesla on its balance sheet. And while Tesla's Bitcoin holdings were made public, there were no estimations around the SpaceX Bitcoin holdings, which have been key to the ongoing confusion. Tesla once held $1.5 billion worth of BTC, purchased during the bull market, but revealed it has sold 72% of its holdings. In Q2 of 2022, the SpaceX write-off claims were also believed to be one of the key catalysts behind the 2,000 Bitcoin price drop, although several others denied that being the cause. Musk hasn't addressed the issue as of yet, but the market FUD made him target of Bitcoin proponents who questioned his strategy of buying high and selling low, while a few others called it market FUD. What are your thoughts? Do you think this is nothing more than mainstream FUD published by the Wall Street Journal specifically to tank the markets? Very interesting thought, right? One Reddit user wrote that Musk is running out of cash across all of his companies, suggesting that Musk might sell all of his Bitcoin and Doge within the next 6 months. And users on X also called out Musk for his paper hands, which we commonly make fun of him for. Quoting them here, Musk appears to be going to toe-to-toe against Bitcoin and his X empire. I wish him well, although I don't think this is wise. That's coming from Dr. Jeff Ross. While the dilemma around SpaceX Bitcoin holdings continues, Bitcoin proponents advocated traders to hodl Bitcoin and not fall for the market FUD. I think that's a great point, as pointed out here. SpaceX didn't sell its Bitcoin, and neither did Elon Musk. Now sit back, relax, and just some intelligent guys getting $700 million in longs. Don't leverage, be patient, and just hodl. Sage advice, as we all know, hodl be thy name. And when in doubt, try to relax. Get your mind off of the price action. Like I said earlier, I spent the entire day in the pool soaking up those sun rays here in Puerto Rico, and I'm not losing any sleep over these dumps. I just will continue stacking sats and counting my blessings, because I'm a Bitcoiner and not an ish-coiner. And again, the ish coins are the ones that get wrecked when Bitcoin drops 8%. Some of these altcoins will drop 10, 20, maybe as high as 30%. So that's the wreckage, comes with the territory. No risk, no reward. Obviously, altcoins are very risky, but hence, when they pump, they could be very rewarding at the same time. So you got to find an equilibrium, right? Anyways, now let's discuss the existential threat, says Congressman, regarding central bank digital currencies, better known as CBDCs. Let's break this baby down. And again, welcome to everyone just joining. Make some noise in the live chat. Let me know where you're tuning in from. This is a very good warning coming from U.S. Congressman Warren Davidson, warning that the central bank digital currencies, better known as CBDCs, can result in a dystopian future. Facts. The Ohio Republican tells his 80,000 X followers he believes that CBDCs could transform money into a powerful means of governmental control, and plans to introduce legislation to criminalize the development of these types of assets. So everyone, please show this Congressman Warren Davidson some love, because I don't know many other congressmen coming out sharing that. And we all know this is fact because we're Bitcoiners. Quoting him here, to make the point crystal clear, I am working on legislation to criminalize designing, building, testing, developing, or establishing a central bank digital currency. CBDC poses an existential threat to Western civilization by corrupting money into a tool for coercion and control. Now, sound money serves as a stable store of value and an efficient means of exchange. Now, Davidson also says he wants to prohibit CBDCs because they threaten our other digital assets such as Bitcoin, impeding the development of beneficial financial technology. Quoting him again, central bank digital currency poses a serious threat of all digital assets. As I said at Flyover FinTech, many people wrongfully conflate even Bitcoin with a CBDC. I'd say the average individual knows no difference because they're completely ignorant to cryptocurrency. But if you watch the show, you already know CBDCs are pure evil, programmable government money, and Bitcoin is the antidote. Now, at least most agree that CBDC is evil, the financial equivalent of the Death Star. No, that's true. Now, don't become an accomplice to anyone designing, building, testing, developing, or establishing CBDC. Banning CBDC is essential to America's fintech future. Davidson calls out several entities currently working on CBDCs, including Ripple Labs. That's right. Tokenized assets are not the problem, it's the people. Entities including the Fed, Ripple, and Consensus and influencers are actively working on CBDC projects. So it's no secret. The congressman says the CBDCs are the complete opposite of decentralized finance and vows to prevent their adoption. Quoting him again, current CBDC versions are centrally managed, permission database dependent on digital ID. This is the opposite of DeFi, where the entire computing architecture is designed to protect privacy and enable permissionless peer-to-peer transactions. 100 plus countries are studying, developing, or implementing the same creepy surveillance state technology as China. So there you have it. You have been warned. I warn you virtually every single day on the show to stay away from CBDCs, as Bitcoin is the antidote, and we don't trust the government and we don't trust their fiat money. Why would we trust their digital version of government fiat money? Would make no sense whatsoever. But anyways, fam, now let's discuss the conclusion regarding the Tornado Cash lawsuit. Unfortunately for the community, the government won, and then we'll discuss the latest with the Ripple XRP appeal, followed by the latest predictions from Max Keiser, suggesting Bitcoin will continue to outpace every other asset and climb another 100x from the current price, virtually predicting a $3 million Bitcoin price action, and then we'll dive into our live Q&A. So yeah, let's discuss Tornado Cash, and how many of you have ever used it before? Do let me know. Tornado Cash is the most well-known crypto mixing service sanctioned by the U.S. Office of Foreign Asset Control last August. The decision was a result of a long-lasting spat between the regulator and the crypto mixer dating back to at least 2018, when two persons of special interest in the U.S. government were found to be using its services. Now, although crypto mixers do indeed appeal to cyber criminals, their main purpose is to grant extra privacy to those who want it. In order for a crypto mixer to work as intended, the number of beginning users must be much higher than the amount of bad actors using it. With no sizable amounts of assets to mix, the operation falls flat. Now, is this with the distinction in mind that Coinbase supported Tornado Cash's appeal against the sanctions? Well, as pointed out here, the rights are rarely secured on a path that is always up, and we will continue to believe plaintiffs' challenge to OFAC's Tornado Cash action is right. We have always known that the Fifth Circuit review is required to resolve these issues. So this is ultimately Coinbase pushing back and saying, hey, this isn't right. The government shouldn't be allowed to do this. Now, also keep in mind that according to the court documents, Tornado Cash's argument focused on its definition as a decentralized open source software project made of smart contracts on the Ethereum blockchain. However, the minting of Torn tokens administered by the Tornado Cash DAO led the government to believe otherwise. And although DAO is technically autonomous, the court argued that whoever holds the most funds has the most voting power, and therefore re-centralizing decisions in a roundabout way. The case was presided by Judge Pittman of the U.S. District Court for the Western District of Texas. And motivating his decision to turn down the lawsuit, Judge Pittman stated, in the eyes of the U.S. government, Tornado Cash is indeed an entity with a property interest, and therefore the OFAC sanctions of the crypto mixer do not qualify as governmental overreach. Quoting them here, this case is about Tornado Cash, but the parties disagree on how to characterize Tornado Cash. Plaintiffs argue that the designation of Tornado Cash exceeds the department's statutory authority over foreign nationals' interests in property and violates the free speech clause. The government, on the other hand, argues that Tornado Cash is an entity that may be designated and that it has a property interest in smart contracts. So unless further arguments are brought forth, Tornado Cash will remain on the OFAC's specially designated national list, which prevents the entity from doing business with the banking sector and a wide range of businesses. So there you have it. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think this is unlawful and overreach of the government bodies and the SEC? Let me know your honest thoughts in the comments right down below. Now let's discuss the latest with the Ripple lawsuit versus the SEC. As many of you know, Ripple Labs did get a slight victory, and it was determined by Judge Torres that XRP was not being sold as an unregistered security as the SEC deemed. And so, however, Gary Gensler is not accepting that. The SEC is not accepting the verdict from the judge and is ultimately going to be appealing this decision. So let's now break this one down, shall we? Yeah, very interesting indeed. Check it out. Judge Torres has granted a request from the U.S. SEC to file a motion for leave to file for the interlocutory appeal in the case against Ripple Labs. The security regulator sent a letter to Torres August 9th saying her decision could affect multiple pending court cases. Well, duh. But according to the U.S. law, this appeal occurs when a ruling by trial court is appealed while other aspects of the case are still proceeding. The decision allows the SEC to file a motion by August 18th, which is today, today, requesting permission to bring a case to the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit. Ripple will also be able to file an opposition to the motion. Now, the decision comes just a few hours after Ripple Labs voiced opposition to a potential appeal for the case. Ripple lawyers put forth three main arguments in opposition to the SEC request. They first argued that an appeal requires a pure question of law and that the SEC's request raises no new legal issues that need to be renewed. They also argued that the SEC's claim of an incorrect court ruling on the matter is not sufficient and that an immediate appeal will not advance the termination of litigation proceedings. Quoting their CEO, Brad Garlinghouse, reminder, the request for appeal, even if granted, doesn't change the fact that XRP is not a security. That's not up for debate or trial, but the SEC continues to claim that Chris and I acted recklessly in believing that XRP is not a security, yada, yada, yada. Now, Torres ruled on July 13th that Ripple's native XRP token is not a security when distributed in public sales, aka exchanges, but that the ruling considered XRP a security in institutional sales. Interesting. The case against Ripple has been ongoing since December of 2020. Holy moly, when the SEC sued Ripple and its two chief executives, including Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson, over allegations that the company was offering an unregistered security. And in a recent interview with Bloomberg, Garlinghouse shared his belief that the SEC would face a lengthy appeal process. Quoting him here, as a matter of law of the land right now is that XRP is not a security. And until there is an opportunity for the SEC to file the appeal, which could take years, frankly, we are very optimistic, he noted. And according to Garlinghouse, an appeal against the retail sales ruling would only further solidify the decision that Torres made. So there you have it. You also have to keep in mind for this to go to the appeal and do a whole new trial could take years. So in the interim, meaning in the meanwhile, XRP is not a security, unregistered security being sold on the exchanges. So all the exchanges have the permissions to relist it. And in fact, a lot of the major exchanges have already relisted XRP for this reason. However, if they have another trial, let's hypothetically say 3 years from now, and after another trial, the judge, changes the ruling and it's deemed an unregistered security, then it can be like deja vu all over again, like going back to 2020, it gets delisted from all the exchanges. And to me, that is very scary. And you can thank No Clarity Gary for that one. So how do you think this is likely to play out? Do you think the SEC is just wasting their time? I mean, I personally look at it this way. The SEC has unlimited resources. They have all the money in the world. The money printer, will continue to go brr for their needs. And, so they can virtually do anything they want. I think it's overreach. Obviously, it's the crypto crackdown. Unfortunately, it's likely to continue. However, I think the lawsuit against Coinbase and Binance, et cetera, can help set precedent, just as the XRP lawsuit has. And I think that thus far, it's been a win for crypto because the SEC is not getting their way. And of course, they're not going to be happy. Of course, they're going to appeal it. Of course, Gary is not going to give us what we want and protect the investors whatsoever, because they're just protecting their own pockets at the end of the day. And that's just the reality of the life that we live in here in the crypto sphere. But with that being shared, fam, let me know your thoughts. And now let's break down our main story of the day. And that's Max Keiser predicting the Bitcoin price will rise to $3 million. We don't care if Bitcoin is crashing because we're in this for the long haul. So cry me a river, y'all. But with that being shared, first, let's start with this quote he recently shared on Twitter, dated August 11th. Which got 62,000 views. He wrote, Bitcoin has already and will continue to outperform everything else so spectacularly by 100x or more that anyone holding fiat, stocks, bonds, gold, all the ish coins, property, etc. will literally be impoverished. Very powerful words. Now, at the time he made this prediction, Bitcoin was close to 30,000. So what is 100x? Times 30,000. That's $3 million per coin. And now, quoting him from a more recent interview he did with Swan maybe about a week or so ago. I posted this on X, formerly known as Twitter, on, August 12th. So the following day after he made that post, it got 131,000 views, fam. And here's what Max Keiser had to share. With Bitcoin, it's kind of the end of price discovery, because everything will eventually be priced in Bitcoin. Everything goes to zero against Bitcoin. Bet you heard that one before. And so for someone like myself who has been following this for 40 years, the finance markets, technology, Bitcoin is the holy grail. It is the end all. Preach. I would say my compatriot in all of this is Michael Saylor. When you hear Michael Saylor talk, he talks about the aesthetics of Bitcoin, the beauty of Bitcoin, and he speaks about it in a way I think carries the torch from the Max and Stacy from 2011. Now, he started buying it, I guess, when it was $10,000 or $12,000 or so in 2020 era. So we were there from 2011 to 2020, and I think he's kind of carried the torch from 2020 in a lot of ways and introduced Bitcoin to massive pools of capital, including to Elon Musk. Note that. I'm surprised that more companies haven't followed his lead, giving the breakup of inflation that we have had exactly as Michael Saylor predicted. The melting ice cube, as he called it, at the exact time and exactly what happened. Well, I guess we can say now we're in an era where BlackRock and these other major institutions are now looking at Bitcoin. So his work on the institutional level, I guess, is bearing fruit. Now, 3 years later, I see in the Middle East, they are starting to recognize Bitcoin. So that's a huge pool of capital. Yeah. And I think that all that oil money will find its way into Bitcoin and be a huge catalyst for higher prices. So it's a natural way for the oil industry to diversify their portfolio because Bitcoin is essentially energy, and the energy eventually gets priced in Bitcoin. And there is a marriage between these two in a big way. So there you have it. His first big prediction that the oil industry is going to diversify into Bitcoin, and he continues. So I think that's kind of the answer. I've always been fascinated by price discovery in markets and the architecture of how markets work under the hood. And Bitcoin is such a pristine, perfect money. And I think it's something that humans have been searching for since forever. And now we're seeing it change society on a really fundamental level with the introduction of Bitcoin. Now, a lot of people are freaking out because of it, because it destroys the status quo. Preach. And a lot of people who have been waiting for it to come along and had the faith that humanity can be saved. Thank God. I honestly feel humanity would be doomed without Bitcoin. All we have to look forward to is CBDCs and the enslavement of the human race. Now, anyways, continuing, they see Bitcoin in those terms. So you have this split going on, which is very exciting. So it just continues on. And how could you not be interested in it? I think the people who were into it earlier, aka Roger Ver, and walked away, just never got it from the beginning. Once it's categorized as an asset class, we have nothing to do except position ourselves in this asset class. So either we are going to have a small position or a big position, but we cannot ignore it. We cannot not have a position. Now listen closely here. So even 1% of that multi-$100 trillion funds available moves the needle on Bitcoin, and it moves it up considerably. He's referring to the $700 trillion total addressable market. And he continues. So if we get into the 5 or 10% range, then you start to really see it raise ahead to the 7-figure type predictions that people have been making, including myself, because it is an asset class. But on the flip side, we have what we saw in the gold market, which is the ability to control price discovery and manipulate the prices. And it's real through the derivatives markets. Pay very close attention to what he shares about derivatives here, fam. This is how the powers that be and the central bankers continue to manipulate the precious metal market. So the price of gold has been lagging inflation for 20 years because the government around the world don't like making gold or doesn't like gold making their fiat money look bad. So they make it easy for the huge funds to manipulate the price of gold and to scalp and to continuously skim profits off of gold, which is what they do almost every single day. You can watch it and see it. In fact, it's pretty clear. And they are very good at keeping the price of gold and silver down. There's something like for every ounce of silver, there's probably 50 ounces worth of derivatives floating in various exchanges around the world that are used to keep the price of silver down because governments don't want gold to race ahead to draw the capital out of their fiat money scam and into gold. Makes a great point, right? And with Bitcoin, we have the ability to pull our private keys, which is not really available with gold. Technically, people can take delivery of gold on these exchanges, but there's never been an organized attempt to do so. Preach. And also, let's not forget that the majority of the gold in the world is hoarded by the central banks. So keep that in mind, fam. Anyways, back to Max's quote. We tried to do it a few years ago. It crashed JP Morgan, buy gold and silver, because after the 2008 financial crisis, when JP Morgan ended up buying Bear Stearns effectively for nothing, they inherited this multi-million short silver position that Bear Stearns was managing at the behest of presumably the government. The government likes to stay involved. And so I did some calculations and it became clear if this short position was not covered and the price of silver got to $60 or $70 an ounce, it would bankrupt JP Morgan Chase. So we started this crash JP Morgan buy silver campaign. And we got the price of silver from $15 up to $50. What a legend. So we got it up to the old Hunt Brothers $50 level. And then the Fed, of course, came in and they changed the laws overnight to make it possible for these banks to have and carry much greater short positions on silver. So they printed up a lot of paper silver derivatives and they stopped the run on their bank, and the price went back down to $15 or so. So we have seen that it is possible to force capitulation of the silver market, but at the end of the day, because of the ability to pull private keys, it is not like it is with Bitcoin. I don't think it'll ever succeed. Whereas with Bitcoin, you can pull your private keys. So there you have it. Very powerful words coming from Max Keiser, and that's 100% accurate. And that's why I don't trust the precious metals myself. Now, if Bitcoin and cryptocurrency didn't exist, I'd be all in on gold and silver, because what other option would there be? But because there is Bitcoin, there's no second best, as Michael Saylor once said. Like, real talk. Am I going to trust my life savings in gold when the powers that be can just manipulate it on a whim? In fact, they have been caught doing so many times. How many times has JP Morgan had to pay billion-dollar or hundreds of millions of dollars in fines for being caught manipulating the precious metal market? I think that will continue. Now, Bitcoin is the only incorruptible money, hence why it is perfect money. There is a finite limited supply, and I mean, there's no greater alternative. There's no second best, quoting the great Michael Saylor. So with that being shared, fam, now let's dive into our live Q&A. Massive shout out to everyone in the live chat. What's up, Jack Leong, Walter DeBarros, welcome, Bitcoin Maximus, McLovin, what's poppin', Bitcoin Trini. And this time, instead of reading the comments from the start of the chat, I'm gonna try to do it backwards, and we'll see how it works, because it's sometimes hard to keep up with. But McLovin says, Max is all in and staying in, diamond hands. You already know he gets it. This is nothing new. He's been in Bitcoin since like 2009, since the inception of the Genesis block. So, I mean, we're to expect it. Not the first time Bitcoin has crashed a few $1,000s. So I guarantee you Max is not losing any sleep at night. Guarantee that. And I bet you Bukele is the same way, because they get it. What's up, J-Dub Laker 21 mil? What's up to the Crypto News Alerts fam? Appreciate it. Bring Facts says, buy that frickin' dip. I'm McLovin' it. How clever. Clever wordplay there, using people's usernames in that. Love that. Jeff, if you knew the Bitcoin was about to drop another in the 24 hours, would you sell your Bitcoin? Personally, I wouldn't, because then it becomes potentially a taxable event. I guess you could keep it in, stable coins, etc. But I don't want to be bothered. I don't want to be stressed out. You can always beat yourself up in the mind and say, oh, if I did things perfectly, I could have sold it before it dropped and I could have bought it back and increased my position. But what if you get it wrong? Then you lose just as easy as you can win. That, my friend, is gambling. The only sure bet is purchasing your Bitcoin and holding it for the long term. That's when you reduce the risk. I don't like risk. I only take calculated risks. I'm not looking to sell. Even if I was convinced right now, Bitcoin's going to drop another 20%, I don't sell it whatsoever. Because if I'm convinced it's going to drop, it probably won't. Because when the majority of the market thinks they figured out Bitcoin, Bitcoin does its own thing. Why? It's on its own freaking vector. It doesn't care what you think about it. I guarantee that. You know what I mean? So whatever the consensus is, Bitcoin tends to do the opposite. So if everyone's expecting, end of the world, sub 20,000, sell everything and buy back in, and everyone's thinking that, what do you think is really likely to happen to Bitcoin? Tell me the honest truth. That's how I feel. I've been in the game, though, since 2017, so I've been around the block. This is nothing new. You're the man, JV, says Walter. Appreciate that. When in doubt, just go all in and close your eyes. 100%, Jack. Great advice. Not financial advice. Same here, Jack Long. I spend all of my fiat on Bitcoin and do a monthly budget. I can't go all in because I stay all in. That just shows you your, your belief in Bitcoin, Matthew. Much love. JP Morgan, Ken SMB, 100%. Anthony, what's up? Welcome, fam. Maximus, way closer to 2 now than 1.5. That's what's up. Please fill it up. Bitcoin is on the pump. Let's go. You already know. DCA Bitcoin no alts. Michael Saylor is a calm genius, peaceful, calm, brainy, intelligent man. 100%. It's kind of like, I respect and look up to Max and Michael Saylor the same. I love them. I love them both, but they are like the polar opposites, right? Max is like wired differently. And Michael Saylor is just a lot more calm, gentle, intelligent. And Max is intelligent, obviously, with that fire inside of him because he wants to, why aren't people understanding that these central bankers are going to continue with their derivatives and financial weapons of mass destruction? Max has been warning us against the banksters for the past, 1 or 2 decades via the Keiser report. So that's why much love and respect to him as well. 100%. 255. Yeah, we got 255 people here right now on YouTube. Let's get it to 555, shall we? Why not? Once I understand Bitcoin, I stopped worrying about all the dips. I just wish I had more than my dollar cost average to buy. Word up. And I am recognizing how difficult it is to go backwards on a live chat because new messages start coming in and it alters where you left off. Hence why I usually start at the very top and work my way down. But it is what it is. I appreciate all those smash likes. Greatly appreciate it. It helps out, of course, a lot. Tony Jeffries in the building. Shout out to Liverpool and to the film club. Chris Minka says 24.8 held as of now. I think it'll be a point of continuation. Word up. Loud and clear, JV. Appreciate the mic check. Baz Dragon, welcome. Mikey likes it. Good to see the fam. My favorite crypto man, JVZ, tuning in from Mississippi. Smash that like button. Thank you, Tommy Walton. Greatly appreciate your support, fam. Today I'm rocking, I probably had this shirt a decade ago. This is like a classic throwback of Biggie Smalls and Tupac. Hip hop heavyweights. You can see the lettering fading, but I'm still rocking it. Shout out, rest in peace to Pac and Big. Hey, good peeps. What's up, Kurt? Sally, good to see you. Fernando P. Hello, bros. What's up, JV? Chillin'. I spent the day in the sun at the pool with my daughter. Came back here to do the show. Living my best life. Yeah, wow. The fear and greed is at a 37. And fear, that's the lowest we have seen it in quite some time. I hope Sailor is BTFD. MicroStrategy Bitcoin cost basis is 29.6. I can almost guarantee you Michael Saylor is taking advantage of this dip. We'll probably learn about it next week. We shall see. One Glenn Coe, great point. Caught so many knives, not one cut. Good thing. Massive shout out to my diamond hands. Shout out to Bring Facts. Fernando, hey Maximus, do you remember I said maybe Bitcoin can go down to 28, 26, or 25? And you agreed. I think we deserve some beer. Well, massive kudos to Maximus and Fernando for calling it and for all the others who have as well. We'll be at 35 again in no time soon, 100%. I'm not sweating it whatsoever. What's up, Tough T? Good to see you. Reginald Thorne, go Bitcoin. Let's go. I'm dancing in the streets. I'll be selling some gold to recoup my limit bids. Word up. And I also wanted to touch upon something I launched yesterday. I touched upon it earlier on in the show, but I did launch the official Crypto News Alerts Patreon, which is a way for you to help support the community and in return, get access to the Discord server and permissions to write and to participate in all, the channels depending upon what level you're at. So here's how it all works. The Discord server is live. Everyone is welcome to join it. It's free to join. You don't need to be a Patreon to join. There is a link in the description somewhere below. And if you don't want to find the link in the description, it's discord.cryptonewsalerts.net. Very simple to remember. You go there, download Discord. If you're not already using it, I'd recommend using it on the phone because it's an incredible app and it's great. And you can plug into the community. However, you're not going to be able to interact in all of the channels, but you will be able to see what's going on so you can at least experience, you know what I mean? But if you do become a Patreon, even if it's only at the $5 Bitcoin pleb level, I do have a promo running, as I mentioned, in honor of Satoshi creating 21 million Bitcoin. I decided the first 21 paid Patreons are going to get a level up bonus for free on the house. So for example, if you join the $5 pleb level as a contribution to the show, you're going to get upgraded to the $11 a month HODL Gang level, absolutely free. Now, this is exclusive for the first 21 individuals. We probably already had 10 or 11 or so join yesterday, which means there's probably 10 or 11 positions left to take advantage of the promo. So if it does interest you, take advantage of it sooner than later so you can get upgraded for free. So for example, if you wanted to join the $47 a month grayscale level, you're going to get upgraded all the way up to the $97 a month Satoshi level, which is the top level, which is the whole kit and caboodle, gives you access to everything outlined on the Patreon page, all the Discord channels and interactions. And I'm really looking forward to it and cultivating our community on Discord. So again, take advantage of it if you haven't already done so. And let's get back to some of these comments. What's up, Sailing with Twins? Shout out to South Africa. Shout out to Barry tuning in from Holland. Easy like Sunday morning, 100%. Holding up here in BC, Canada, avoiding the dew fires. Stay safe out there, fam. Stanley says BRICS meeting in South Africa in 4 days. Oh my God. It's about the new digital currency. Interesting. Imagine it's Bitcoin and the market will rip faces off again. Always bullish. 100%. Anything is possible. And just like that, we could be dumping doomsday. End of the world. Sub 20 incoming. Next day, God candle. Back above 30,000. BRICS, new currency. They're introducing Bitcoin. Let's freaking go. Sometimes life be that simple. We shall soon see. CBDC equals GTFOH, which means get the frick out of here. 100% fam. I'm with you on that, Kurt. What's up, McLovin? $0 was good. Sarah Soloway is claiming more pain to come. Well, is there anything else new? I'll just leave it at that. Musk is unpredictable individual, out of control. Word. I feel you. F Musk, says from Eddie. I mean, yeah. I don't have a lot of love for Musk myself. I love the X community and what he has done on it, but I don't trust him as far as I can throw him, just saying. XRP is a security, says Maximus. They are called shitcoins for a reason, says Jack White. Yeah, someone even asked me in the Discord server, I think private messaged me yesterday, and they said, hey, I'm an investor, limited budget. How can I have a come up? Which coins do you recommend I purchase for a come up? And my initial instinct was, and this is what I told him along the lines, I'm paraphrasing, I don't even feel comfortable anymore recommending anyone purchase an altcoin, because when Bitcoin gets wrecked, the altcoin gets wrecked at a factor of 2 to 5x. So if Bitcoin's down 5%, these altcoins are going to be down maybe 15, 20, 25%. And that's the reality. Like, for example, just look at XRP. And XRP even has a real utility, right? It's going to be used for CBDCs, the central bank digital currencies, yada, yada, yada. You know, Brad Garlinghouse is partnered with the World Economic Forum. I think he's a member, you know what I mean? So you can't make this stuff up. But when Bitcoin was crashing 5%, XRP was down 15%. So how can I respectfully, you know what I mean, recommend someone to purchase an altcoin noting the downside? They can get absolutely wrecked and you can lose everything. Whereas with Bitcoin, one Bitcoin is always going to be equivalent to one Bitcoin. So I can have confidence and feel good saying, hey, and this is what I told him to do. I have no confidence in recommending altcoins because you're more than likely just going to get wrecked. I've seen it. I've seen it before. But he said, but Bitcoin's too expensive to get in now. I said, expensive? You know, the price was maybe hovering at 27,000. I said, massive discount. I mean, Bitcoin was 169,000. And if you're going to hodl it for the long haul, you're almost guaranteed to win, because over a 4-year period, Bitcoin has a track record of all the investors being in the green if you have diamond hands and you're willing to hodl. You know what I mean? So if you're looking for the most risk-free asset that's guaranteed to go up and increase in purchasing power over the years, look no further than Bitcoin. And I also reminded him that one Bitcoin can be divided by 100 million Satoshis. So don't think for a second you have to be a whole coiner to get in the game. You can get in the game with a $5 buy. You know what I mean? Simple as that. So don't think, yo, if I don't have 30 grand, I can't even join the Bitcoin club. No, you can. You can join the Bitcoin club with $5. That's the beauty of Bitcoin. You know what I mean? And I much rather be holding Bitcoin than any other thing. And you also got to keep in this. If the market crashes, Bitcoin is going to preserve its wealth and value the greatest as a store of value, hence digital gold. Gold 2.0, whatever you want to call it. Now, what happens to the altcoins when Bitcoin gets wrecked? You're guaranteed to get wrecked. Guaranteed. And also, you know what I mean? You got to keep all of that in mind. You know, what's best in my situation may not necessarily be best in your situation. And again, this is not financial advice, but be smart and be safe out there, because again, nothing is safe. I don't even feel Ethereum is safe, and that's the second largest cryptocurrency by market cap. Why is that? It's not decentralized. The World Economic Forum is playing their part in it. You know what I mean? There's founders. We don't know if there is a finite limited supply. They never released that information. We know Bitcoin, there can only ever be 21 million, hence why there is no second best. And I'll leave it at that. Let me know if you guys can relate to that little rant I shared with you, and tons of comments coming in. So I'll start rattling some more out loud. Alt Bitcoin pairs. You just can't join the whole corner club. Long term, it's a no-brainer for real. Good point. Today's price is 26, but the value should be priced at 55. So it's a discount right now. CoinFather makes a fantastic point. That's how I look at it. It's a 60 to 70% discount from the all-time high. And you mean to tell me it's too high? Why, when it was 69,000, everyone, including your mother, was interested in buying Bitcoin? But when it's dipping, only the smart people who get it are still stacking, and everyone else is panicking. Paper hands, sell it to BlackRock. Maybe Larry Fink will take this. No, thank you. I'm not unloading any of my Bitcoin to Larry Fink whatsoever, or Michael Saylor, because I understand what's happening, and I like to follow the smart money. There's smart money and dumb money. What's the dumb money? The short-term hodlers, people hodling less than 150 days, maybe 3 months. Now, the smart money, the whales, what are they doing right now? They continue to accumulate. Why is that? Because they're smart money. Follow the smart money and stop listening to the stupid money. And that includes Jim Cramer. Go reverse Cramer. Anything that dude recommends, do the frickin' opposite and ride that to the moon. Breton, maybe. Any thoughts on Litecoin? Litecoin, isn't that the initial fork of Bitcoin? Is it considered the silver? Bitcoin is considered, the gold if it was to be compared to precious metals. I don't know use case wise. I don't use it. And it's not talked about much anymore. It was like once, was it Charlie Lee who founded it? Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was Charlie Lee. But once he dumped his stack, I just lost interest in it. And it doesn't seem anyone even covers it much anymore. However, one thing it tells me, Litecoin is typically a preview window of what's about to happen to Bitcoin. For example, every halving for the 4-year cyclical cycle, typically the first altcoin to go on a run is Litecoin. Why is that? Well, the Litecoin halving occurs right before the Bitcoin halving. In fact, a Litecoin halving just occurred maybe a week or two ago. But interestingly enough, the price didn't do much. The price has probably been going down since. So a lot of people are anticipating, the rewards, get cut in half, scarcity, it's going to drive the price, but this cycle it hasn't yet. So it makes me wonder, will Litecoin continue to lead the bull run for this cycle, keeping in mind that the Bitcoin halving is now less than 9 months out, scheduled to be sometime in April of 2024? You let me know. So those are kind of my thoughts on Litecoin. I'm not really a holder of it. I don't follow it a whole lot, but it is an OG. So it has my respect for the fact it's been around for the longest time next to Bitcoin, and it's still around and it's still working. So that's just a great sign that the protocol works. You know what I mean? But you guys let me know what your thoughts are on Litecoin. Litecoin is faster than Bitcoin. That's true. So if you're not using Bitcoin with a second layer such as Lightning Network, it can be slow. The fees can be a little high, obviously in comparison to Litecoin or XRP or any of the cryptos that could virtually do instant speed. But at the same token, just to be fair, with the layer 2, if I use Lightning, if you decided to zap me some sats right now, I'm going to receive it instantly. And the fees are going to be minuscule. You're not even going to notice the fees. So Bitcoin with the other layers can virtually do what most the altcoins can do. So it kind of makes me wonder, XRP, cross-border payments, I get it. I understand the use case, CBDCs, XYZ, but can't Bitcoin do the same thing with a layer 2? Is there something I'm missing? Why do we need XRP if we have Bitcoin layer 2? Why do we need Solana? Can someone explain that to me? Is it necessary? Or is it just so they could snatch your Bitcoin? I'd love to know your honest thoughts. Let me know in the comments right down below. We still got 252 people in the live chat. That's what's up. That's right, JV. Charlie Lee is the Litecoin founder. That's what's up. And he did dump his coins at one point. Yeah, it was just like alarming to me. If the founder of any crypto, I don't care who you are, you could be Brad Garlinghouse with XRP. If you sell every token that you hold, that shows me you don't have any confidence in it. So what did Charlie Lee do? I don't really know. Maybe he traded all his Litecoin for Bitcoin, because that's what I would have done. So it wouldn't surprise me. Great video. Thank you, Trini. Bring facts. This one time Bitcoin went all the way up to $39 and then it crashed. Hilarious. Bitcoin is prehistoric, says XRP Moonwalker. Okay. It's still unconfiscatable, it's still uncorruptible, and it's still decentralized. It's still going to continue to do its thing, and it's still the only cryptocurrency which has the green light from the CFTC chairman as well as this SEC chairman, Mr. No Clarity Gary. So they can't attack it. All they can try to do is continue to suppress the price actions so that their Wall Street buddies like BlackRock can get their positions. But also keep in mind, even the people who have been anti-Bitcoin, they're already exposed to Bitcoin in their portfolio more so indirectly. For example, BlackRock owns a portion of all the major corporations in the world. Standard Chartered, which is a bank, they're the largest shareholder. You know what I mean? What are the other companies? Facebook, they own a portion of that. I don't know where my mind's going blank, but you tell me what they don't have their hands in. So to me, this is a sign. We already know they have the Bitcoin ETF application submitted to the SEC. I think this is the calm before the storm. I think next year we're going to rip. I can't make any guarantees, but more than likely, if history repeats, or better yet, history more likely to rhyme as things don't necessarily repeat precisely, I think we're in for the ride of our lives. I think Bitcoin is absolutely destined to break the current all-time high, which is, what, 69,000? And it can do so effortlessly. For fact, we can break 69 and the next day be at 100,000. That's how fast Bitcoin can rip. So all of you watching Bitcoin, oh, it dumped another 2,000. Oh my God, sell the house. You know what I mean? Unload the bags. Give it to BlackRock. I don't want this asset no more. Are you kidding me? Do you know how fast Bitcoin will rip when it rips? Did you not experience previously when we watched Bitcoin in 2020, 2021 rip, surpassing 20,000 all the way to 69? And you got to keep in mind that prior to that, the all-time high for Bitcoin back in 2017 was at 19,900, maybe some change, just shy, just south of 20,000. So to tell me Bitcoin can't 3x from the previous cycle high is insanity. We've witnessed it. You know what I mean? Not too long ago. Like, how many of you witnessed it with your own eyes? So hypothetically, if Bitcoin only 2x this cycle coming up after the halving, based upon the current all-time high of 69,000, that's realistic. At 138,000 price action. Now, what happens if it 3x rips again? God candle mode. We're talking about a 200,000 Bitcoin price realistically. This can occur sometime between 2024 and 2025. In fact, yesterday's episode, how many of you watched it? We covered Plan B, quant analyst, creator of the Bitcoin stock to flow model. What is he predicting? $500,000 Bitcoin price is on the table. He thinks more likely to hit 300,000, a range between 300 to 500 post-halving. But these are the estimates we're talking about with the stock to flow, which is basic supply and demand. So you got to keep in mind, if the miners' rewards are getting cut in half as they do every 4 years like clockwork, TikTok, next block, every 10 minutes, you know what I mean? Then obviously, the demand increases, the supply decreases, basic math. If there's only one Mickey Mantle baseball card that exists, what's the value of that card going to be? Way higher than if there was 10 trillion. So that's explaining altcoins versus Bitcoin for you. Let me know if that makes sense, that metaphor. Wake me up in 1 year and I'll tell you I told you so. Word, says Tyler Diss. Bitcoin is the kiddie pool or in the kiddie pool. Eventually, it will be the Olympic-sized pool, 100%. Stellar and Solana go from 28 February 2024. Says Euron. Bitcoin always makes a higher high and a higher low, and having bull runs, 100%. There's nothing new under the sun. There's three things that cannot be long hidden, quoting the great Buddha, and that is the sun, the moon, and the truth. And Bitcoin is the truth, my friend. And shout out to everyone on Rumble Live right now as well, Rumble or X. I appreciate it. It says Bitcoin is on sale. That's right. This is one hell of a fire sale, isn't it? DK 21 million says stacking sats. That's what's up. And thanks for your support over on Rumble as well. I greatly appreciate it. Back to the comments here on the tube. You know what I mean? And welcome y'all just joining in, tuning us. Michael says XRP 2 cents next week. I hope not. I don't like seeing people get wrecked. I want to see all crypto investors win. That's why I go towards the crypto. I don't even care if I believe in the crypto or not. I want to see crypto win versus the corrupt freaking SEC. I don't want to see government win. That's one thing I don't want to win, is the government and the SEC, because they don't have our best interest at heart. And I think we can all agree upon that. So if we can agree upon that, we want crypto to win. We want people to win. I like seeing people win. I think the average person, they celebrate when you lose. They're like, good for them. Hopefully they go poor. They don't deserve it. Maybe you're struggling in your own life and you just get great joy seeing other people suffer. This is just the nature of human beings. I actually love when people win. I hate seeing people lose because I know what it feels like to lose. I've been dealt the losing hand one too many times in my life. So with that being shared, I just want to see people win. I want to see everyone in crypto win. And I feel like unless you have a position in Bitcoin, you're guaranteed to be wrecked and lose. That's why I'm so passionate preaching. You know what I mean? This is the truth. If you don't have a position in Bitcoin and you're fully leveraged only on altcoins, you are virtually guaranteed to get wrecked. Guaranteed. Because when Bitcoin goes down, you're guaranteed to get destroyed and sink like the Titanic. Guaranteed. You know what I mean? But, when Bitcoin rips, all the altcoins come along for the ride, because a rising tide rises all ships. You know what I mean? So it's kind of the gift and the curse, but it is what it is. Have a position in Bitcoin just in case. Just in case they release CBDCs and we enter a cashless society, which is going to happen because they talk about it all the freaking time, and position yourself to have an antidote so that you're not enslaved and forced to spend your hard-earned digital CBDC cash. Because I guarantee you they're going to do it. If they have the ability to control you through money, do you think the government is going to take advantage of that and control the people through the money? That's right. Whoever controls the money controls the world. Whoever controls the food supply controls the people. This is the reality. Bitcoin offers human beings the ability to not be enslaved because they don't control it. That's the only money they cannot control that is incorruptible. XRP, they can put a gun to Brad Garlinghouse's head and say, we're going to kill your wife. You know what I mean? Unless you do XYZ. Could happen. Economic hitmen. Anything is possible. But being there is no attack vector because Satoshi is a god. You know what I mean? There's no one to go after. It's safe. It's the only money that is safe. And trust me, if the government could have got rid of Bitcoin, they would have done so over a freaking decade ago. I guarantee it. They can't do anything about it. And if you can't beat them, join them. That's what BlackRock is thinking. We can't beat them? Nah, join them. We'll crash the market. We'll get our position. We'll have trillions of dollars worth of Bitcoin on our balance sheet. For Christ's sake, we're worth $10 trillion. You know what I mean? And it's just a matter of time, fam. I know I'm preaching to the choir. Anyone following the Argentine election? Yeah, here on the channel, massive shout out to Malay. I hope he wins because he's calling out the central banking cartels, and I got a lot of respect for that. He has the balls we need to see in a president. Let's go Latin America. All we do is win with small setbacks sometimes, 100%. And sometimes we feel like it's a loss. Oh my God, my position is down. I bought at 60 grand. Now it's at 26. It's over. But it's because you're thinking with a limited time frame. You got to start thinking over the long haul, especially as an investor. This is like investment advice 101, and I'm not giving investment advice. But if you're going to invest into something and you don't want it to be considered gambling, you do so for the long haul. I look at Bitcoin 10 years from now. No plan on touching it. When I start getting my position, I'm like thinking about the future, my children, future generations. This is what they're going to have, right? And I guarantee you, Bitcoin purchasing power will continuously go up because the purchasing power of the dollar is guaranteed to continue to go down. It's just mathematics, you know what I mean? And no one can change that because, again, finite limited supply, massive demands, supply shock is just going to increase the price. Everyone's going to want it more and more as the price continues to go up. You got a glimpse of that, right? In 2021, everyone, including my own mother, got a Bitcoin position back then when it was just, oh my God, it just keeps going up. It just keeps going up. It just keeps going up. Well, yeah, but when it goes up so fast, you know what I mean? It's going to go back down. It's going to level itself out. But over the long haul, it's going to continue to do what it was created to do. And that's go up technology and continue to soar and be perfect, pristine money like we have never experienced in humankind ever before. But anyways, fam, I know I'm ranting here, so let's actually wrap up. Here's a recap of what I covered with you here in today's show. If you're appreciating the rants and the passion, let me know, because I have no clue. Maybe some of you guys are turned off, but I get pretty freaking into Bitcoin, as you can tell. You know what I mean? This is the hill I'm willing to die on, because I believe in it. And I don't trust our government. And if you don't trust your government, what do you got to do? Prepare for what's to come. How do you prepare? Bitcoin, keep stacking sats. Stop looking at the price. Keep getting it. Keep dollar cost averaging. Follow in the footsteps of the smart money, the Michael Saylors, the Max Keisers. You know what I mean? The people who know what they're doing, the whales, what are they doing? If they're accumulating, what should I be doing right now? That's the $1 million question. Anyways, now for the recap of what I covered with you here in today's show. I broke down the latest technical analysis. We also discussed the latest rumors surrounding SpaceX and Elon Musk and allegedly selling $100 million worth of Bitcoin, which may be nothing more than FUD. It's not clear at this current moment. We also discussed U.S. Congressman issues a warning on CBDC CBDCs, as I've been warning you every freaking day. He says that they pose an existential threat to Western civilization, and I agree 110%. We also discussed Tornado Cash loses its lawsuit against the U.S. government. Very unfortunate. We also discussed the latest with the judge granting the SEC request to file the motion for an appeal in the Ripple case. But even with the appeal, it could take 3 years to overturn that decision. So during the interim, XRP will not be considered an unregistered security by the SEC during that time. We also discussed, quoting Max Keiser, Bitcoin has already and will continue to outperform everything else so spectacularly by 100x or more that anyone holding fiat, stocks, bonds, gold, and all of the shitcoins, the property, etc., will literally be impoverished. So there you have it. Let me know where you feel the Bitcoin price is likely to go next. How low will she go? And I look forward to seeing you on tomorrow's episode.